Hello, it is Direct Mail, Monday, May 16th, 2022. Steve Sipress here with a special edition of Direct Mail Monday where I usually dip into my own personal or business mailbox and share lessons from a piece or pieces of mail that I have received recently. But today I'm going to do a very special, very important, very timely message. Timely for me, very important for you. And it's the first time in a while that I have recorded a video with the beautiful sunset going on in the mountains behind me. Actually, mountains are in front of me. That is the city of Phoenix is down below behind me. Anyway, I'm sure you saw it as well. We had that blood red, beautiful lunar eclipse moon last night happening in the front of the house over the mountains to the east, to the northeast. Here we are facing southwest, and therefore the sunset. But let's get right to it. So just recently, yesterday, ended a 6-month gig of attempting over and over and over to help a business run by two great young guys with a fantastic deliverable. I mean, this service really helps people. People love it to death. It's fantastic, but unfortunately, that is not the main thing, if anything, to build a business. Doesn't matter how good the product or service is. If you absolutely are inept at advertising and marketing, you're going to be in just humongous trouble, which they are. And so a number of truisms I'm going to share here today, and I talk about them a lot all the time. You can search my other videos, articles, audios, whoever you're watching or listening to this, for messages on pretty much all these things, but I'm going to bring them all together today. So here's the thing. There's one thing worse than having bad advertising or marketing. Can you guess what it is? It's the Dunning-Kruger Effect. And again, I've recorded videos on this and I talk about it all the time. That means what's worse than being bad at something is not knowing you're bad at it, because then you just keep repeating it over and over. These two guys, unfortunately, stubbornly clinging to their horrible, inept advertising and marketing efforts, which is another truism. They are married to the marketing. You never want to be married to your marketing. You want to be able to discern when it is not working, understand why. So you want to know enough about advertising and marketing. Pay attention to my videos. Get help from somebody else who knows what they're doing. Read a bunch of books. Go to a bunch of seminars. I have read over 1,000 books on advertising and marketing. I've attended hundreds of seminars. I've hosted hundreds of seminars on it. Teacher always learns more than the student. There's no better way to learn than to teach. And so, and I have helped thousands of business owners implement effective advertising and marketing who had been running ineffective advertising and marketing. But these guys, married to their crappy marketing, probably their crappy marketing guy, which is another lesson. Almost every specialist, in this case a Facebook ads person, is a tactical expert, not at all a strategic expert. So in this case, I have no doubt that their Facebook ad person, well, not I have no doubt, but it's very, very likely their Facebook ad person is excellent at the tactics of Facebook advertising. They know how to set up the account, and although they, actually I take it back, I mean they failed in a major way when these guys had their company bank account hacked and got their Facebook ads shut down for weeks while they attempted to, go through all the things with their bank and set up a new account and whatever. Like everyone I know, and I've helped several clients, and I know lots of people that help people teach people and help people run Facebook ads, and every single one of them, one of the most basic things they teach is set up multiple accounts with Facebook. Not actually, for the main part, in case your bank account gets hacked, but in case Facebook shuts you down. Because if you're running effective ads, you're right up to the line of what's allowed with Facebook, and once in a while, you're going to get your ad account shut down, so you always got to have 2 or 3 or 4 tied to different credit cards so that you can continue to advertise. Your whole business doesn't come to a standstill because you foolishly, idiotically had one Facebook ad account. Like these guys, Facebook person evidently either doesn't know that, didn't share it with them, they don't know that. What the heck, are you kidding me? But, so maybe I take it back, but in general, I would give the benefit of the doubt and think at least their Facebook guy knows at least some of the other tactics of successful Facebook ads. How to test, multiple A/B testing, how to track, how to, up the ad spend, lower the ad spend, target the target market. But here's what happens. These tacticians will simply say, hey, I'm a Facebook ads guy, and they'll ask, who's your target market? And they are not strategic at all, so they won't help you. If you have the wrong target market, which is what this video is all about, I'm going to help you here, and they absolutely do, this tactician, not a strategist, they're just going to go, oh, okay, that's your target market? I can get you a flood of those. So in this case, with these guys, their target market is a really crappy, lowest possible level of crappy prospects. And can the Facebook ad person who's a tactician let them know and help them and go, of course I can do that. That's the lowest common denominator. They're easy to get. You can get a flood of crappy prospects real easily. But why don't you target a little better prospects or a lot better prospects? You'll make a lot more money. No, almost no tacticians. Your SEO guy, Facebook ad guy, your Google ad guy, your YouTube ad guy, your website builder, your funnel builder, whatever it is, they are almost all tacticians who will simply ask you, who are you looking to attract? And send me your copy and send me your About Me page and send me your bio and send me your this and your that and your headline or whatever. And if you send them a crappy, ineffective headline, they won't go, oh, let me work with you to help you to get a better headline that'll save you a lot of money on your ads. I mean, these guys, way overpaying. They told me for a while there they were paying like $400 to get a call on a calendar. That includes the advertising, then an appointment setter. First, I had to help them to get rid of that appointment setter. That took, a couple of months of just having never-ending crappy appointments on the calendar. When I first joined them, they had 3 salespeople. They quickly got rid of 1. Then they had 2. Constantly, then they got rid of one of them who was constantly pointing out that they had absolutely unqualified, crappy leads nonstop on the calendar. I was pointing that out too, not as harshly as he was, but did they listen? Did they learn? Never. So sad. No, I'm saying never. I mean, not yet. But after 6 months, time to move on for me. Hopefully, they get a divorce from their marketing and or this marketing guy. But, again, the marketing guy might be all right as a tactician, but they got to get a strategist. They got to at least read a book or 2. Every time I talked to them, they had read some surface stuff and didn't understand it, and they were asking me questions about like real basic stuff, like get someone who knows what they're doing. And when you do, by the way, here's a hint. Listen to them. Oh, shocking. Don't just get someone who knows what they're doing. Actually, listen to. Give them a shot. As Bill Glazer used to say to me all the time when I sparred with him over marketing and advertising, and he would say at the end of the conversation, which ended the conversation, he would just say, you know what? Go ahead. Prove me wrong. Like, prove me wrong. He gave me his very best advice. Then he said, prove me wrong. And so that told me, maybe I shouldn't do it. But you know what? I tested. A lot of times I did it. A lot of times I did prove him wrong. And I came back and, Bill Glazer is one of the greatest guys on earth and one of the sharpest marketers and advertisers. And, he would admit, hey, and then he would add that into his mix for his clients and his programs. And so then he would ask me, the teacher smart enough to be the student once in a while. And I started as a student of his and sometimes could teach him something. All students teach the teacher if the teacher is smart enough to listen and learn and build it. And so when I did prove him wrong, man, he was happy. He was like, that's fantastic. Thank you. Now I'm going to adjust that and I'm going to pass it on to lots of people. Anyway, I digress. So these guys get a flood of crappy prospects. A crappy prospect's the easiest one to get. So this marketing Facebook ad guy get to say, I'm filling your calendar. Oh yeah, I had to help him get rid of the crappy appointment setter they had. I actually wrote a script for the new appointment setter. And then I wrote another script for the appointment setter who continued to put unqualified appointments on the calendar. I wrote a script how to qualify crappy, get rid of crappy prospects. Keep them off the calendar, how to qualify them to see if they do have the money. That's it. There's only two things that qualify someone to get on the appointment for a salesperson. It's number one, do they have a need, a problem that we can solve? And number two, do they have the money to pay us? And so we assumed in this case, at least they were advertising to people generally that had a need, of course. I mean, in fact, in spades, the prospects they're advertising to are the dregs, the wounded birds, the absolute neediest. They can't pay it all, but they're incredibly neediest, so they're easy to attract. Oh yeah, please help me, please help me, please help me. I'm like, okay, so we assume they all need the help, want the help, but man, at least 90% of them can't afford to pay us. And this company also too stupid to take payments. So they insist a big ticket sale. They insist in getting it all up front, or they split it into two payments of thousands of dollars each, or they'll split it into payments only if you go to third-party financing, where they have to pull your credit and get your social security number, the prospect's social security number, and pull their credit. And so, of course, these wounded birds, these crappy prospects have crappy credit. Why do you think they need so much help? You think they only need help in this one area? Their life is a mess. They go from crappy job to crappy job. They've had bankruptcies. Going through a massive divorce. Oh, I have no money. Oh, I got ripped off recently. So, oops. And none of my family or friends believe in me to lend me the money or even put their name on the application so I can get the financing. I talk to them. I'm like, just get someone who cares about you, likes you, believes in you to let you use their name since you have no credit. Or crappy credit, even worse than no credit. You have crappy credit. Like, so what? Get someone who believes in you to just be a co-applicant. Just put their name on the thing and tell them you'll make all the payments. You'll pay it off early. This is an ROI service. So you put in a little money to get started, and then very quickly, in a few months, you make enough to pay off the whole thing. Like, oh, yeah, no, I don't know anybody. No, of course you don't. Another true reason these guys don't realize that like refers like. So one thing they say is, oh, these aren't crappy prospects because even though they are, maybe down the road they'll have money and they'll come back to us like, oh, yeah, sure, miraculously in a few months their whole life is going to change. They're suddenly going to become responsible. They're suddenly going to have perfect credit, excellent credit, even decent credit. They're suddenly going to have a good job. They're suddenly going to become respectable people, responsible people. Like, they're respectable but not responsible. Like, oh yeah, that's suddenly all going to change. And then they go, or maybe they'll tell somebody they have a friend and they have a like refers like, dude. They don't even understand that. Some real I hope you do. I hope you understand some of these basic things. If not, again, go to helpfromsteve.com, hit my calendar, I'll help you out. Keep tuned to my videos, my audios, my articles. I've written hundreds of them. I posted thousands of videos, audios, articles. You can search for these terms, and I speak about them all the time, or you can pay attention now or in the future. I'll speak about them again. But please understand, like refers like. You're not going to have a really horrendous prospect who can't afford anything. Who do you think he knows? You think he knows a lot of responsible people? A lot of people with great credit? A lot of people with cash on hand? A lot of people with a great job? Like, of course not. Not of course not, but very unlikely. So, bottom line, let's get to the point. The key to attracting three types of leads: crappy, good, and excellent. It all comes down to the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. Again, Google it. I talk about it all the time. Good friend of mine, Perry Marshall, wrote a book, 80-20 Marketing. Go get that one, highly recommended. But understand there's an 80-20 rule in everything. 80% of your sales will come from 20% of your prospects. 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your efforts. 20% of your efforts will lead to 80% of your sales. 20% of your prospects will lead to 80% of your sales, so on and so forth. I'm sure you're familiar. I hope you're familiar. I'm sure you know about the 80-20 rule. Anyway, so let's take the 80-20 rule. Now, 80% of your prospects will be crap. So, of course, you can attract a flood of them. It's easy. Just say, hey, are you a loser and you need help? By the way, these guys say it right out in their ad. They don't say, are you a loser? The ad says, again, I don't think the Facebook ad person, who's not a strategist, I hope, wrote this copy. I'm sure they came up with it, or somebody in F came up with it, but it's like something like, hey, I guarantee I will. Oh, yeah, that's one thing they listen to. They finally, after 4 or 5 months, they finally put in a guarantee, but they used it all wrong. Jeez, they're like, oh, I guarantee to totally turn you around in this way. I almost gave away the industry, which I don't want to do. I guarantee to totally turn you around. Well, total turn you around, that's like Barack Obama saying, I want to totally transform America. That's code word. That's a translation of I hate whatever it is. I hate the country. Obama hates the country, so he wanted to totally transform it. And all the Bernies and all the leftists and anti-Americans, they hate the country, so they want to totally transform it. Schumer and Pelosi and the rest of them. Like, what? So when they say, I want to totally transform this, what they're saying is, you suck at this. You're a loser. In fact, they say that in their bill of points. I'm going to totally transform you, so very soon, in the next 90 days, I guarantee you'll be winning. What does that say? At least subconsciously, they understand they just said, you're losing. So these are the dregs. These are the bottom 80%. These are the ones that are losing. They're failing. They're losing. They're failing over and over. Again, I don't want to give away the industry, but this is the copy of the ads. How terrible they're doing, and I can turn that around. Yeah, sure. You're attracting the wounded birds. Like when a kid walks home and sees a wounded bird on the side of the road, like, oh, mommy, I got to take it home and feed it. Well, of course. It takes months, and you can, bring that bird. Everyone wants the rags to riches success. Every coach, we love those rags to riches stories. I was marketing to this dregs of the bottom 80%, like these guys are years and years ago, decades ago. I told them I got cured of that by sharp marketers. They just laughed at me, shook their head at me. They're like, "What are you doing? You're marketing. No wonder you don't get paid. You got clients that don't take action and don't do what you say, and so they don't turn themselves around. You're marketing to crap, to the lowest 80%. Cut that out. You're calling them out in your ads when you say, I'm looking for a turnaround. You see the TV shows, The Bar Rescue, or Tabitha with the Salon Takeover, or whatever. Like, oh, the coach dreams of that rags to riches, that turnaround, or whatever. Like, man, though, if it wasn't a TV show that comes in and redoes the whole thing and this and that and whatever, and you get the top coach in the world, and they have all the respect for him, so they listen to everything he or she says, and they get it turned around, although sometimes those experts just walk out, like on that Bar Rescue, just walks out and says, you're hopeless, you're not listening to me, and he walks out, right? But if they listen, they pay attention, they get turned around, not to mention they get the whole bar redone, the whole salon redone. But in real life, if it wasn't for the TV show, those clients can't hire a consultant, they can't afford a consultant, and they can't afford to print new brochures and to redo their salon waiting room and put in new this and new that. Of course not. They have no money because they've used up all their savings and they're way in debt and they're losing money when their business is about to shut down. Like, they're easy to attract. Oh, please help me, help me, help me. I'm a wounded bird. Help, 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 help. But they can't pay. So those are the bottom 80%. Those are the crappy leads of the 80-20. Easy to attract. Of course they need help. And so you get fooled like this couple of young kids who are great kids. I really hope they figure this out, but I had to give up already. It's enough. Stop attracting. They're easy. You can fill up the calendar with these crappy leads. What are you doing? Your salespeople will make sales over and over and over, but then they don't qualify for financing. Oh, so the salesperson can't get paid. So technically, the sale isn't closed, even though, of course, they did everything they could. The person's dying, begging, please, I want it, I want a great job by the salesperson. Nobody gets paid. Not technically a close. Reminds me of the days, about 25 years ago, I did a ton of work for car dealerships. About 20 years ago, ton of work for car dealerships. Car dealerships, once in a while, same thing. Somebody comes in, salesperson works with them, asks all the right questions to find out what they want, and then goes into the sales pitch, gets them in the car, tells them all about it, what, goes through everything, sells them the undercoating, the air conditioning, the this, that, the upgrade, the pin striping, the whatever. Right. Okay, then they put in for the financing, and they get declined. Oh, let's try with another lender. Oh, they get declined. Oh, it's just not going to go. Oh, no sale. Well, what do you think happens? The sales manager comes over, the head of the dealership comes over, they console the salesperson, they thank you for all that time, that effort, you did things right, you got them to want it really bad and to sign and to whatever, but no fault of your own. You can't control it. They didn't get approved for financing. We promise we will do our best to get better quality leads showing up on the lot for you. Because they're going to lose salespeople left and right, continuing to have crappy leads show up on the lot who you can sell them all day, but they can't buy. You don't have the means to buy, right? So they're a crappy lead, and these guys just continue to attract those. Those are the bad, crappy, crummy, unqualified, whatever you want to call it. Stay away from those. They're easy, and your tactician, your Facebook ads guy, or Google ad guy, or Yellow Page, whoever it is, if they suck, they can still be good at attracting those. That's easy. Just say, hey, are you a loser who needs help? Click here. We'll help you. Stop that. You don't say, of course, are you a loser? You just say, do you want to win? That means they're a loser, okay? Now let's move it up a notch to the 20%. The top 20% are good. Those are good leads. They're the ones that are doing pretty good. They just want to do better, right? Do you want to do better? I guarantee you'll do better. It's a better use of a guarantee than I guarantee you'll stop losing. That attracts losers who can't pay you, right? Great, you want those stories, but they can't pay you. So here's what you do, by the way, if you really want to help those people, just like Bar Rescue and Tabitha and whatever. First, attract excellent leads, make tons of money, and then you want to give back once you're a multi-millionaire. Take on some of those wounded birds. You can't get paid, but you can feel good by turning around some losers. But if you're just getting started and you want to make some money, or if it's been years, it's been 4 or 5 years for these guys, and you're still attracting losers, so you're wondering why you're making no money, stop wondering and understand, or listen to someone who knows what they're talking about, or read a book, for crying out loud, or go to a seminar, or take the shortcut and just pay somebody who's read 1,000 books and gone to 100 seminars and hosted hundreds of seminars on that, expert on the topic, but listen to what they say. Give them a shot at least. Let them prove you wrong. Give it a shot. My goodness. Don't be married to your crappy marketing. Huge, huge mistake. Anyway, those are the good leads. They're doing all right. I guarantee you'll be doing better. All right, they're good. They're the top 20%. Here's the real big key that most people miss about the 80-20 rule. The excellent prospects, the really top ones that'll easily pay your fee, that'll be the easiest, quickest to sell, they'll want your thing, they will love it. You still use the 80-20 rule, only now you do it again. Because in that top 20%, again, there's an 80-20. So you want the 20% of the 20%. That's 4%. You want the top 4% of your marketplace. Those are the excellent prospects. Those are the ones that are the easiest to sell. Those are the ones that are doing great. And we guarantee you'll do better. But why don't you come join a group of other people doing great at this? Because people that are doing great at something love to hang out and share ideas and bounce ideas off each other and just share their success and get a round of applause from other people that know they're doing. They don't want to get a round of applause from the loser. I mean, they get it, but they're like, great. The loser, congratulate me. He doesn't even know he's on. I want that guy to congratulate me, right? I want to make the all-star team. Top players in sports want to make the all-star team. They want to get in that locker room. They want to hang out at the batting cage or practice around on the court or on the field or whatever it is with other stars. They can share some tips and learn some things and get a tiny little bit better. That's all it takes. They'll pay big money to get a tiny bit better. So what you do is add a little more value, raise your price, and put all that added money over your expense, over your added cost, into your marketing. So you put more money into the marketing so you can target the best prospects, the 20% of the 20%. So just to recap, 80-20 rule. Bottom 80% suck. Easiest to attract. They will suck the life out of you. They'll suck all the money out of your account, and your tactician will laugh all the way to the bank going, what? I did what you said. I attracted the people you wanted to attract. What's the problem? Your salespeople will quit because they can't sit there all day making sales to people that can't buy, even talking to them. What a total waste of time. So please stop doing it. Then you take the 20%, the top 20%, they're good leads. Once in a while, you'll make a sale to them, and you still have to work with them a lot. They're not doing great, but you work with them. It's not as easy, and they don't as easily buy. They can't as easily buy, but some of them can. But then that 20% of the 20%, the top 4%, they're doing great. I've been in a ton of mastermind groups. I've been in the $7, the free mastermind groups with the lowest 80%. I've been in the, the $7, the $22, the $29 a month masterminds with the 20%, the good. And then I've been in the $25,000 a year, the $50,000 a year masterminds, with just the best of the best. Of course, they're my favorite ones to be in. Of course, that's where I met the real movers and shakers and the big shots of the advertising, marketing, and sales world. That paid dividends hundreds of times over. My goodness. That's where all the top performers want to be, with the other top performers. We want to hang out with them. We want to share ideas. We want to co-promote. We want to share stuff with them. What do I want to co-promote or share ideas with someone at the bottom of a $7 mastermind or in the bottom 80% of whatever the target market is? Okay, so lesson is, you want the crappy leads, go for the easy bottom 80%. You want good leads, go for the top 20%. You want excellent, fantastic leads. Easiest to sell, pay the most money. You go to the 20% of the top 20%, the top 4%. That's where all the actually easiest money will result in the fastest, strongest growth of your company. And going back again to one of the truisms I shared earlier, like refers like. So who do you think those top 4% know? They know other top 4% people, and they say, hey, so-and-so, you know how we were talking about, you got to come join this, whatever. This is where all the top people are, man. You got to come to this meeting, this event. You got to join this group. You got to get with this coach, this what. This is the top. This is where it's at, man. This is for you, right? So all the easy money, all the big growth comes from people sharp enough to advertise and market to the top 4%, the top 20% of the top 20% of your market. Even if you just want to do okay, at least market to the top 20%. But please don't do what these two, they're great guys. They just don't get it. They just don't get it. I pounded my head on the wall for 6 months, and that's enough. Moving on. Actually, already signed an agreement to work with a couple of former members of a mastermind and one who do get it, who have read tons of books and been to the conferences and been in my mastermind. So I know they've been in top masterminds. These are sharp guys. Going to be fantastic to work with them. They already listened to, just when I suggested let's talk about me maybe coming on board with you guys, they were like, can you critique our marketing piece? Already they understood, like, hey man, can we respect this guy and get some help from this guy? And I gave them a couple of suggestions, and next time I got on the phone, they were like, by the way, did you notice? We made that change you suggested. It's already on there. Check it out. I'm like, look at that. Show my beautiful wife, Michelle. I said, look at that. They already. What a difference from these jamokes I've been working with for 6 months who don't listen, and when they do it wrong, but they keep thinking. They're married to their marketing. They keep thinking that crappy marketing is good. That was the last straw. I had a call with them on Sunday. I'm like, okay, if they come on and finally realize, are they finally going to say, sorry to put all these crappy appointments on your calendar? We're going to make some changes to get back. No. They were like, no, it's not the leads. So I was like, oh, you're married to your marketing. It is. Your marketing's the problem. And they launched this new ad campaign. So for months, they've been telling me things are going to get bad. Oh, another mistake. They're like, we're building a website. It's been months. We're working on the website. Websites take, by the way, 1 day to put up. If it's really complex, might take a week. So again, they hired not only a crappy Facebook ad guy, they hired a crappy website builder who undoubtedly is overcharging them and crappy. They gave me a recording of one of their calls with them. Like, they showed them a mock-up, and then they said, yeah, so get me your copy here, get me your copy there. Again, a tactician, send me the copy. Like, they don't know how to write the copy. Their copy's going to attract the crappy prospects again. Like, they don't know how to write the good copy. Like, but the tacticians can't help you out. You got to get a strategist. The strategists do you the most good. They cost a little bit more, but they pay off in hundreds of times. The tacticians cost very little, but they cost you money. They don't pay off. Jeez. Anyway, so these guys finally launched a new ad campaign. They showed it to me. It launched, I think, May 2nd. I was like, holy crap, that's even worse than the last one. Now it's really calling out losers. That's it. Got to go. I gave them a couple of weeks, but nothing changed. In fact, more One thing the ad did is it attracted more losers. So after a couple of weeks of being shut down, having 0 calls pretty much hit the calendar, now they had a flood of really crappy calls. And then, of course, they blame the salesperson. First of all, the appointment setter put those crappy calls on the calendar, but I don't really blame the appointment setter that much because she's under a little pressure, right? You got only crappy leads filling out the form to have a call with the appointment setter to see if they're qualified. Like, I'm sure she didn't feel like saying no to all of them, even though she must have known they're all unqualified. She was like, I got to put some on the calendar. But no salesperson's going to waste time talking to crappy people. Setters shouldn't be putting crappy people on the calendar. And ad people should not be attracting crappy people. So don't be married to your marketing. Don't be a victim of the Dunning-Kruger Effect, where you don't know something, but you don't know it. You think you know it. Like, lots of big mistakes. So hopefully, by recording this video, I can save you a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. Hopefully, by helping you to not make any of these same mistakes that these two great guys, but really bad business people and horrible advertisers and marketers and sales managers, they don't know what they're doing, like that they are making. Hopefully you do not. If you want to talk about this some more, I do 15-minute calls at no charge. You go to helpfromsteve.com. I don't do a lot of them, but hit me up, and at least we can have a quick talk, and I'll point you to a book or a video or to a person or to wherever. I'll give you some help as much as I can in 15 minutes. Go to helpfromsteve.com. Otherwise, just stay tuned to my videos, articles, my audios. You can find them on LinkedIn. You can find them on YouTube, find them on my blog, my podcast, Facebook, a whole bunch of groups and pages and posts and Twitter and I don't know, wherever the heck. They're all over the place. Anyway, that'll do it. I can see the sun has now set in the west, and you can see some light back there. So how cool is that? That'll do it for Direct Mail Monday, May 16th, 2022. Please learn from this. And do not make the same mistake that probably at least 80% of business owners make. See how I did that? 80-20 rule again. Probably 96% of business owners screw this up. Only the top 4%, which is why 90% of businesses fail. Only the very top get this. Hopefully, that's you. Go out, have a lot of fun, make a lot of money. Please implement and heed this cautionary tale and implement what I'm talking about. That'll do it for today. I'll catch you back here again tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. Over and out. Bye-bye.